Stevie. I'm going to apologize ahead of time this week because I'm pretty sure this video is about to be really short. It's finals week and I have 2 finals on Friday. I'm recording this Thursday, so I'm just taking a break from studying and then I have to get right back. So if it's short, I apologize. Happens. So I really enjoyed your video last week about Umbridge versus Voldemort versus people thinking that Umbridge is worse than Voldemort, and I agree that that's definitely wrong. Basically, it sounded like you were saying that everything that Umbridge does is not her fault, but it's the fault of the system that she's in. But I think the way that she was characterized, there was definitely something inherently wrong with her. I don't think that she was more wrong than Voldemort, but I think that we had the background story of Voldemort, and we had a reason to empathize with Voldemort because we knew that he lacked a family, he never really knew love in his life, and so there was, like, to some extent, a reason to empathize. But with Umbridge, we just thought, well, she's a bitch, and that was it. So I do think there was something inherently wrong with her. She was a bad person. I do think that she was definitely influenced by her boss in the ministry and the system that she was in, but I do think that she seemed happy making the decisions that she was making. So along the same note, today I wanted to talk about everyone's favorite / sometimes least favorite character, Severus Snape. So if you'd have asked me when the books were coming out who my favorite character was, I would have said, without a doubt, that Severus Snape was my favorite character. I love that he was such a stoic character, that there was so much hidden in his life, and that you found out these little snippets about him every book, and every time it just got more and more interesting, and his character just had so much depth to him. The way he acted like nothing bothered him, but then when it came to instances relating to the Marauders and Harry and James, he would overreact, which was very interesting, and I enjoyed that aspect of his character. I wasn't surprised when Book 7 came out and we found out that Snape loved Lily, because there were quite a few hints about that. It was definitely no surprise to me. So before the book came out, there was that big debate, is Snape good or is Snape bad, and I definitely knew that he was good. There was no doubting it in my mind. And so, because he was good, but seemed bad, was like this double spy, I felt like he had to be, like, the best character because he was sacrificing so much. In the past, like, year or two, there's been a lot more people coming out pointing out reasons why you shouldn't like Snape, and I'm actually sort of having a change of heart about him. I'm kind of realizing that he wasn't the greatest person ever. He had this infatuation with this girl from his childhood, who he had insulted, called a racist comment, basically, and then expected her to still love him, which is insane. He never respected Lily's wishes to be with James. He thought that she was wrong and that she had to be with him, which is a very crazy thing to think, which is a very self-centered, narcissistic thing to think, and I think that's very wrong. He tortured a young child, basically, like, emotionally and mentally, because he was the child of the girl he was in love with and the guy that she was in love with, and not him, which is insane. The last thing he ever thought of before he died was this woman that he was once in love with, like, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, and that's insane. Like, he never once tried to forget it, or never once tried to move on, which I think is silly. I think when I was younger I was obsessed with, like, the romanticized notion of one true love, and that Snape was her one true love, and she was his one true love, and that was meant to be, but she didn't want to be with him. But the fact is, you don't call your one true love a racist slur, which is basically what he did. And he treated her like crap because of his identity and her identity, and so I don't think you can count that as one true love in any way. I feel like my thoughts are kind of all really jumbled, because that's how I kind of feel about the whole topic, because he was definitely my favorite character. I would always say, if someone asked me, who's your favorite Harry Potter character, I'd go Snape. Definitely Snape. And I still find him very, very interesting. I think he's probably the deepest character that there is, which is very interesting, but at the same time, I don't think I can call him my favorite character anymore, because I've come to realize that he wasn't that great of a person, and that his story wasn't really that great. Like, it was interesting, but it's bad. Like, it's a bad model to follow. So I guess I need to start thinking of who my next favorite character was. I always kind of like the Phelps twins because of their comedic relief, but I don't think that they're necessarily super important of characters. They don't have such an, like, obviously they have an important role that they kept people laughing. They tried to find happiness in the dark times, whatnot, but I like characters that are important to the story. So I'm looking for a new favorite character, so applications within. Again, sorry for the short video. This is two times in a row, so I apologize. But after this video, I'm going to be home, and I'll have a lot of time, and a lot of space, and a lot of nothing. So, I will see you next week, Stevie. Bye.